now, many migrants fear the complete closure of the border is imminent. Joining us now to talk a whole lot more about all this is Doris Meissner, Senior Fellow and Director of the U.S. Immigration Policy Program at Migration Policy. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Pleased to be here.
So I'm going to unpack this first bit. Denver Mayor Mike Johnston says that bringing National Guard forces into Colorado from other states would be a very bad idea. Do you agree this would be a bad idea?
Well, states have responsibility over their National Guard, so I'm not sure that any other state actually could send their National Guard to Colorado. The governor of Colorado would have to agree. But this is an example of a bigger issue, and that is that some states will cooperate very fully with the Trump administration, such as Governor Abbott in Texas, and some states will resist. And Colorado is an example of one. California, Illinois, there are many states, and particularly mayors, that are not going to cooperate. So it will be a patchwork.
Yeah, and so what is that going to look like, that clash between states or between cities and local leadership, some starting to declare sanctuary cities as well?
Well, yes, I think that what we're likely to see is a very uneven effort across the country, which means that in some parts of the country, people who are illegally here will be in a much more jeopardized status, and other places they're much more likely to have some degree of protection. But overall, it's going to take time to generate this effort in any event. And what the administration, the incoming administration, is saying is that it will focus primarily, at least initially, on people that have a criminal background or connection of some kind. And those are people that could be almost anywhere in the country.
Now, we had our Elizabeth Pran earlier reporting on this enormous migrant caravan making its way to the Mexico-U.S. border. The Biden administration is anticipating a surge in border crossings as migrants are concerned about entering the U.S. after Trump takes office. So what do you make of all this, like this in-between time? What are we going to see here between now and January in the coming weeks?
Well, we don't know. The reporting of this caravan is a new development. At the same time, enforcement all along the route in Central America and the Western Hemisphere has changed significantly and dramatically under the Biden administration. The Biden administration has been able to work out strong cooperation and agreements, particularly with Mexico, so that these caravans have dissipated along the way. I expect that in this particular case, that is likely to happen also as people try to make their way through Mexico. So the idea that there will be, phalanxes of people arriving at the southwest border, I doubt that we'll see that.
Okay, and Governor Abbott putting these water buoys into place to try to deter migrants from crossing the border illegally. How do those work exactly, and have they been effective? We're taking a look at them right now on our screens.
Well, there's just one section of the border where he's installed those buoys. It is an area along the river that people typically cross, but that has been much more a showmanship effort. There are certainly ways for people to declare themselves at the border and seeking asylum, although right now that will not work for most migrants because the Biden administration has stopped receiving applications for asylum between ports of entry. So people who are arriving, were they to be admitted into the United States, they'd only be admitted if they were coming through a legal port of entry and with an appointment in advance and an opportunity to then make their claim. So it's been so underreported how much the border enforcement in the last year or so has tightened and has reduced the numbers dramatically under the current administration.
We can't forget it's not just our southern border either. Our Jorge Ventura regularly talks about the migrants coming through our northern border illegally sometimes too. We got to leave it there. That's all the time we have. Doris Meissner, Senior Fellow and Director of U.S. Immigration Policy Program at Migration Policy. Thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.